Alright, hey, HadesOmega here, and this is the after action review for the Donner Harescramble 2024. Alright, it was put on by Brian Garrahan of Garrahan Off Road Training. Alright, and yeah, I'm no longer going to race this race anymore because of this fella, okay? And I will get into that. Alright, so this race was kind of a shit show, I'm not going to lie. I was having a pretty good time until Brian came up to me and he hated on me for having an e-bike. Okay, so is what's going on here. All right, guys. But anyway, so after action review is supposed to be what was supposed to happen, what really happened, and things we could do to improve. All right, we will no longer be racing in this race anymore. All right, because of what the stuff he said. Okay. And I will be leaving reviews on his for his business, all right. And I make a separate YouTube video about the incident too, but I will talk about it in this video, okay. But anyway, so what was supposed to happen? So last year we raced the Donner Harescramble. I always wanted to race it because I heard it's really hard, and it's kind of it's a rare opportunity to race at a ski park, okay, guys. So. What do you do when there's no snow? In the summertime, you race motorcycles, basically. Okay, guys. So it takes place at the Donner Ski Ranch, and it's like it's on Donner Pass. All right, guys, and it's where the snow park is pretty much. All right, and they have like a bunch of trails there that you can ride. They're not necessarily motorcycle trails, guys. All right. It's not like Hollister Hills or anything. They're not like official trails, guys. They're just trails that they made up there. Okay, and it's you're riding around like a huge mountain, guys. I did it last year. I got 2 laps, and I did and spoilers, guys. I did 2 laps this year too. Okay, so let's talk about what happened this year. All right, so the plan was to race the Donner Harescramble. All right, HadesOmega only does 2 District 36 races, and sad to say, I think I'm not gonna do any more District 36 races. All right, except for maybe the Coyote Creek Sprint Enduro. All right, just because it's like in my backyard type of thing. All right, yeah, I was doing the Donner Harescramble, and then the Coyote Creek Sprint Enduro. I've done a couple District 36 Harescrambles, and I just don't enjoy them, guys. It's just the people that you ride with, they kind of ride rough, is what I'm going to say, all right? And there's a lot of them, and it's super competitive. And, yeah, it's just, and I don't get my money's worth, all right, guys? And I'll go over that when we get to the membership part, okay, guys? But anyway, so the plan is to race the Donner Harescramble 2024, all right? Like we raced last year. I pretty much did the same thing I did last year. Last year, the plan was to show up, or was to drive there late at night, so I can make extra money, because HadesOmega is poor, guys, and I need to work, alright? And I'm using my hard-earned money to do these races and stuff, alright, for fun. For fun and for videos, so you guys can watch them, right? And I don't really make a whole lot of money off of those videos anyways, but... So yeah, last year... I drove really late at night to the... Because I'd never been there before, right? I drove really late at night to the ski ranch, and I tried to find a place to park, and it was very difficult. And I had a trailer last year, okay? I took my Supermoto with me because we were having a Supermoto event in Reading, all right? This year, we didn't, okay? So I only had to take this bike, all right? So that made it easier, all right? That's what I want to say, all right? The plan was to throw the light B onto the moto jack rack and then drive on down there. And I thought about getting there early and camping, but and then I'm looking at the flyer, and it's like, okay, it's $70 to do a race, all right, that for the Harescramble if you're like an amateur. You got to pay $20 for a freaking wristband. This wristband, guys, I haven't taken it off yet. And then $10 for the camping. I'm like, dude, that's already like $100 right there, okay? And then that's not mentioned like the memberships and all that stuff. Yeah, it's ludicrous the amount of the nickel and diming that goes on. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you got to pay to play, guys. Is what I want to say. All right, and like I feel like the way I was treated today, that I don't want to pay anymore, and I don't want to play with them. So I was planning to go early and then just hang out there in the daytime, you know, get the bike all set up and everything. But I did what I did last year. I worked in the daytime so I could make some extra money, and then we went there at night. All right, so it's on Donner. Yeah, it's on Donner Pass pretty much. It's the summit, all right, of I-80. Okay, guys, going through the Sierras. It's 7,000 feet, guys. It's way up there, okay? Way up there. And you'll be huffing and puffing, all right? If your bike's not huffing and puffing. So, but that's one of the good things about the electric bike. I don't have to worry about jetting, all right? And I don't have to worry about power loss due to the amount of oxygen in the air. There's less oxygen for me to breathe, but the electric bike doesn't run off of oxygen, all right? It doesn't require a chemical reaction between gasoline and oxygen to operate. Okay, that's a scoop. So yeah, so the electric bikes do have an advantage here. Okay, that's what I want to say. And they don't stall. All right. So that's a scoop. So anyway, so the plan was to just I was gonna stay at one of the, so to save $10, guys. I was gonna drive to one of the rest stops. There's these rest stops on I-80, all right, on in the Sierras. You get tired, you know, you pull over, you take a nap type of thing. Well, that was my plan. It was similar to the Moto Beach Classic, right? I stayed at the kind of the farther, there's a rest areas at Donner Pass, all right, the Donner Summit, all right. There's two. There's one on, you know, for each direction, and then there's one like about 20 miles away. So I stayed at the one that was 20 miles away. I think I got there at like 3 or 4 o'clock. It's a long drive, guys. It takes me a good like 3 hours to get there. All right, so I think I left around 11 or something, or 12. I wanted to make sure this thing had a full charge before I left, so I you know, I don't have to burn so much gas because HadesOmega is poor. All right, so yeah, so that's a scoop. So we stayed at the rest stop, like I mentioned. I slept in the car for like 3-4 hours or something, and then I woke up at 7 o'clock, and the goal was to get there at 8 o'clock, and then download the bike and register. Okay, and then yeah, register and then go race. All right, and then the plan was to kind of stay there. I didn't get to stay there last time because I kind of had to take off right away because I was doing the Supermoto event. But this time I planned to hang around, you know, see what's going on. They have there's multiple events going on. There's the Hare Scrambles. There's they have a hill climb event. They call it the Moto climb or something. And then there's the U.S. Hard Enduro there. Okay, some crazy riding, guys, type of stuff. All right. And HadesOmega was gonna do the Hare Scramble, right? Yeah, and it's like $200 to do the hard Enduro anyway. So. And it's hard, all right? The Hare Scramble is hard enough, so so here's what happened. We got there. I had to go. Man, there was nowhere to find parking, guys. The place I went to last time, there was no place to park there, and I had just this, right? I didn't have the trailer this time, and so I had to park along this side of this long dirt road, man. And then there's these cars that go by it and bikes that go by it, and you just get dusted. Everything gets dusted, man. It's awful, guys. For somehow they were posting videos and stuff saying like, hey, there's going to be more parking this year, this and that, and no, there wasn't. Okay, it was freaking awful, man. You just have to park down this long dirt road, you know, with everybody else. All right, there's no parking lot, guys. That's what I'm saying. All right. I feel like they should get one, right? And then, so yeah, we downloaded the bike. I think I set the tire pressure a little high. I set it to like 20 psi, and then I was going to set the tire pressure when we got there. So that's the first thing I did. I set the tire pressure to 12 psi front and back because I feel like that's the perfect pressure to have in the tires. Some people run lower, okay, guys? I don't want to risk getting a flat, all right? I think 12 is good for this run. HadesOmega used to run 15, right? and the bike is just so light, you don't need to have a lot of tire pressure, and it helps. It helps a lot. This battery, guys. Okay, that's the battery we used this year. All right, we used this battery. And oh, okay, it's in the bike. The light and the small Lightspeed battery. All right, those are the two batteries that I know are still in good shape. All right, guys. And I've got 2 bad batteries in my garage that I gotta get fixed now. All right. But that'll be for later, all right? For Virginia City, that's the only place I need the more batteries. Okay, but anyway, so the scoop is, yeah, we were gonna go test out all these new gadgets, all right? Oh yeah. Speaking of new gadgets, I installed. So yeah, the EBMX X9000 controller has a regen throttle, all right? But HadesOmega wanted to try a regen handbrake as opposed to a regen thumb brake, okay? HadesOmega has not a really big fan of the thumb brake because I have to break my grip to use it, all right? And then I only have one thumb, so it weakens me a lot, especially going down hills, okay? HadesOmega is just not good at going down hills, I'll tell you that, man. But hopefully this helps, okay? Yeah. So anyway, I had this elaborate setup, all right, guys, on the bike, where I use a pit bike throttle. I'll put a link at the end of the video, maybe, if you guys want to learn more about it. But it's got a pit bike clutch lever, and it's got a cable that goes to the old Suron throttle box, all right? And then we have that running to the controller, all right? Where you would plug in the thumb throttle, you plug that throttle box in, okay? And it works, all right? So now I have a regen handbrake, all right? So now I can keep my thumb on the handlebar while I use the brake, all right? And the verdict's still up in the air whether I like it or not, all right? But it definitely works, okay? It feels kind of odd because it feels like a clutch. It does feel like a clutch because it goes all the way to the bar, okay, guys? It doesn't feel like a brake lever. Yeah. Okay, so that's the bike that we're racing this year, and overall, I'll tell you guys now, did it feel much better than last year? You know what? It kind of did. Having that regen throttle helped a whole lot, in my opinion, and the power was nice, but the power was great last year with the KO setup, right? Yeah, we did pretty good with the KO last year. And yeah, I didn't really notice much of a difference with the rear swing arm, is what I'm going to say. But definitely the battery made a big difference. I'll go over that later, okay? So yeah. So that's the bike we're racing. And so we go and we have to go register, okay? So I put the small battery in there and I ride it up to the resort area, all right? And that's where they have the sign-ups, all right? You go up there. And then yeah, this is where the shit show begins, guys. All right. So usually I do, since I only do 2 races a year, I don't buy the membership anymore. HadesOmega got ripped off on a membership during COVID. Okay, guys. I paid for the daggone membership, and then they canceled a shit ton of races, and I didn't really get to use it. I got ripped off, guys. All right, and I said no more. I'm not gonna do that anymore. All right, unless I'm gonna do a shit ton of races. It doesn't make it worth it, guys. All right, and HadesOmega, like I said, HadesOmega is not really a big fan of the D36 races, guys. All right, at least the cross country races. I'm not a big fan of the way they operate. Okay, and I'll go over all of that right now. Okay, so I go in there and I do the 1 day membership. All right, 1 day membership's $15. The full membership, the 1 year membership is $40. All right. So they try to rip me off again, all right, guys? So I sign up for a C senior, for the C senior class, 40 plus, all right? So cause it's an age group class, okay? And it's pretty competitive, is what I'll say. So I buy the 1 day membership, and then I go there. I'd actually transferred the numbers. So yeah, the District 36 cross country races, you got to have a number. They give you a number for your bike, and then you got to keep it on your bike, man. You can't just be swapping freaking numbers out all the time. Yeah, man. That's what I kind of don't like. So HadesOmega, if you notice in a lot of HadesOmega's race videos, my number is 277 or 277S. Okay, that's the number D36 cross country issued me. Okay, so and you have to pay $20 to get that number, guys. All right. So this is where they try to rip me off, or I mean they did rip me off, right? So last year I signed up and I used the same number as last time, and no problem. All right, I had the same. So they give you a transponder, one of the little sticker thingies, and you put it under the bill of your helmet, right? And yeah, no problems, no problems at all. All right, I raced last year and no problems. This year, big problems, guys. So apparently, if you don't use your number, the number they issue you is only good. It's only legal. All right. For if you buy like a 1-year membership. Like they're making all these stupid rules up, is what I want to say. All right, they've got so many dumb rules, AMA and District 36, man. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna voice them right here. Okay, so they're saying, hey, okay, you need you can't use your old number. We have to issue you a temporary number. All right, and it's the rider packet. You get the big number. They're going to give you some kind of another racing number. I was like, but I already have a number, all right? And then, well, apparently they can give away your old number, guys. I didn't know that, but I used it last year. So what's the big deal? So yeah, so I was stuck up there for probably 15 minutes or something trying to get this straightened out. And yeah, so they wanted me to buy a new rider packet, which is $20, okay, guys? If I had to buy the new rider packet, and the 1-day membership, that's $35. I'm like, shit, if I pay $5 more, I can get the $40, I can get the 1-year membership, and I get to keep my old numbers, because you have to have a 1-year membership to use that old number for some reason. I don't know, it's stupid. I don't get it, guys. All right, yeah, I don't understand what's going on here, because I was able to use my old number last year. No problems, all right? Even though I hadn't raced with a long time with District 36 cross country, all right? So that's what I wound up doing. I said, okay, well, you know what? Just sign me up for the 1-year membership. Yeah, just sign me up for the 1-year membership and let me use my old number, all right? And then they had to go in their computer and do all this stuff. Their system's kind of antiquated, man, is what I'll say. And they had to reissue me my number or something, all right? They had to make sure it was still available. And sure enough, it was, all right? And then, so here's another thing. They only take cash or check, man. They don't take a card. They don't have a card reader. They don't take Venmo, PayPal. Come on, guys. It's the 2020s, guys. It's the 2020s. It's modern times. You get with the program here, guys. Not everybody carries cash around anymore, man. It makes it so much simpler just to use a card, to swipe a card, all right? But no, they don't even have that. Cash or check. I'm like, what is this? So they make me go to the ATM, and then the ATM charges me like a $5 surcharge, right? So like if they're just nickel and diming me, man, it's awful, all right? Oh yeah. Then I mentioned I had to pay $20 for this wristband, so like all in all, I paid $70 to race, all right, that's the Harescramble fee, all right. I paid $40 for the membership, so now I'm like $110, and then I paid $20 for this freaking wristband. I'm like at $130, guys. Yeah, it adds up, guys. It's a good thing I have AMA membership, because I would have had to buy another AMA membership if I didn't. Okay, so yeah, HadesOmega is AMA member, right? The District 36 membership doesn't really do me much good, man, unless I do a bunch of races. Okay, so yeah, HadesOmega is just not happy with the District 36, AMA District 36. All right, so okay, and then there's another thing HadesOmega doesn't like about AMA. All right, AMA in general. All right, during COVID, they made a rule where you can't use a helmet camera, all right? So here I got a helmet camera mount on the side of my helmet, all right? Last year they wouldn't let me use it, all right? This year, well, I guess they didn't say anything about the camera mount that was on my helmet, but I knew they were giving me shit for it, all right? So I just used my GoPro chest rig just like last year, all right? So the stuff we learned from last year, I'm applying to this year. All right? I didn't even bring the helmet camera with me. All right, guys, because of freaking AMA. All right, they're so strict about it. All right, it's freaking retarded, guys. It's stupid. I don't know why they have that dumb rule. Okay, you could lose the camera anytime. All right, it doesn't matter where it's mounted. All right, yeah, it's horseshit, man. But yeah. So I took the plan was to use the GoPro, And so the GoPro has, you can swap the batteries on it. That's the good thing about the GoPro. And HadesOmega has been using the chest rig often, and you know, I'm starting to like it. Okay. The one thing I don't like about the GoPro is it eats up a lot of data. I don't know how many kilobytes or whatever the video is, but it eats up a lot of data, and the battery's not very good. All right, the battery lasts. No. Okay, so I don't know. The card that I have in there, it takes 2 hours of footage. All right, so that's perfect. The Hare Scramble is only 1 hour and 30 minutes. So if I turn it on right at the beginning of the race, I should be fine. All right, okay. And but the battery doesn't last that long. All right, guys. And so the plan was the battery that's on the bike. I had it in my backpack and I took it to the pits before the race. All right, and it's got an extra GoPro battery in it. All right, so if I was to do a third lap, all right, that was the deal. If I was to do a third lap, because we only did 2 laps last year, right? So if I was to do a third lap, I would swap the GoPro battery also. So then we don't have to worry about the GoPro running out of charge, but it might run out of data, okay? That type of thing, all right? So yeah. I kind of like the Ion camera where I just switch the cameras, okay? But yeah, it is kind of a pain in the butt. You have to have another camera available, okay? Yeah, okay, so yeah, finally HadesOmega got all the registration stuff squared away, all right? And then I go back to the pits and I get everything. I get my gear on and everything. I see a pickup truck, guys. I see a pickup truck drive down the road where all the trucks and everybody's parked and stuff, the trucks and RVs, and I see a Varg in the back of a pickup truck. I was like, oh shit, there's a Varg over there. And I go over there, we got like an hour before the race. So I go down there and I chat with this fella named Hare, okay? And turns out he's from San Jose. I didn't know. I was like, holy crap, he's right around the corner. So maybe I might go riding with him sometime. I don't know. And yeah, he just got a Varg. He told me that he's only taken it. That's his third ride on it. So he's just got it, okay? So he was gonna race it. He was gonna race it in the Hare Scramble. So exciting times, guys. We got 2 electric bikes racing in this race, all right? And Mr. Garrahan, he's not a fan of electric bikes, guys. All right, as you'll find out after the race, okay? Anyway, I was gonna race my electric bike in the race. It's a total cheater bike for this race because I don't have to worry about jetting and all that stuff. Okay, I got all my gear on. I chatted with Perry for a little while, and then we head up there, and I swapped the battery already. So we've got the Qi battery in here, all right? The 72 volt, 38 amp hours. All right, this is a badass battery, guys. And then I put the backpack in the pits, all right, with the extra GoPro battery. And it's got a little towel on it that we're going to use for a spacer, okay? Because the battery is small, guys. And I know that battery is good for like at least 20 miles off-road. So it should be good enough to do 1 lap, all right? Turns out the laps... Okay, here's a spoiler, guys. So after the first lap, it was like 6 miles, all right, guys? The 1 lap is not a lot, but it's 6 miles of hell, guys. I'm not going to lie, all right, guys? It's 6 miles of hell. I drive up to the tech inspection booth, all right? They've got this little booth set up, and it's got a transponder there, and then they check to see, they poke your spark arrestor to see if it's there. I don't have one, it's electric, right? And then they look at all your numbers and stuff. I have all my numbers. They're supposed to have 2 numbers on your helmet. They're such a stickler for like the stickers and all that shit, guys. Do they really need to see your number, man? The transponder records everything, right? Anyway, yeah, there's a number right here, all right, and there's a number right here, and they're telling me I have to, at the end of the race, they told me I have to boo my number because they can't see it. I'm like, there's no other place to put the freaking numbers on my helmet, guys. I've got the quick strap and all this extra stuff on the helmet, If I didn't have it there, then yeah, but I need all my extra gadgets on the helmet, man. Like, what the hell's wrong with them, man? So I've got the numbers on the bike. I've got the numbers on the front number plate. Yeah, so we're good to go, right? And also, I forget, if you're like an adult, if you're like a beginner adult or like a C-class adult, you're supposed to have a white background with a black number on it. All right, guys. Yeah, there's so much specialized shit that you have to have on your bike and your person to do these races, man. So that's my biggest complaint about these cross country races, man. I don't get it, man. They're so demanding. All right, you got to have a transponder. You've got to have 3 numbers on your bike, 2 numbers on your helmet. Oh my freaking god, dude! It's too much shit, man. and what if I do other racing disciplines? What if I don't want to use these freaking numbers? I know, man. And so that's the reason I don't want to race with D36 anymore. That and Brian Garrahan. Okay. Okay. So yeah. And then so they checked the transponder. All right. I've got the transponder registered. They gave me the number again, even though I don't understand why the number would disappear, because I used it freaking last year. Okay, and there was no problems last year. All right, with my scoring, at least not that I know of. All right. Yeah, so the transponder on the helmet, I saw it. Okay, guys, they have a little laptop there. You ride under the transponder, and they say, okay, you're 277S. We're looking at your numbers. How did I pass freaking tech inspection if the freaking transponder didn't work properly, right, guys? Okay, remember this. All right, I saw. All right, I don't know if I have it on the video. If I got it on the video, I'll show you, because the chest camera only shows what's in my chest, okay? Maybe if I turned my chest toward it, But they had a laptop there. There was a transponder, receiver, all right? And then I went under it, and it said 277S on it. I saw it, 277S. I was like, okay, we're good to go. Yeah. All right, they fixed it, all right, whatever. And so we go up there, and we're on row 9. They give you a sticker to line up with the row that you're in. So I lined up with row 9. That's a C senior class. All right. There was about 10 racers. It was pretty competitive, and they were racing all freaking enduro bikes, guys. All right. HadesOmega is the only one crazy enough to race a Suron Light B. So I say, all right. They do the national anthem and all the riders meeting and all that stuff. I don't think they mentioned how many laps it was. But it can't be as bad as the Virginia City Grand Prix, man. All right, and yeah, so okay, and then the race starts. I was looking at the GPS, so I have a GPS on the bike. All right, guys, so I can keep track of my time and all that stuff, and so to get track, so I can make these cool videos, right? And we pretty much started at 11 on the dot. So hats off to them on punctuality, at least. They're punctual. We started like pretty much at 11 o'clock right on the dot. And then boom, so the first 8 rows go, and then we're ready to go, all right? When the gun goes off, we go. And so HadesOmega, so the start was different than last year, right? Last year, we were going down a hill, and then we had to go around or something. This year, we just go straight up the hill, all right? So we're facing up instead of facing down, all right? But I just left the bike on, all right? That's what I did. It's supposed to be a dead engine start. Well, I don't have a freaking engine, guys, so I don't have to start my engine. It just, it's just on, all right? So I just left it on because I remember last year I had problems with the KO controller, all right? So the KO controller, if you turn it on and the wheel is moving at all, it doesn't run at all, okay? It just kind of just stalls. And then you have to turn it off and turn it back on and make sure the bike isn't moving, all right? So I lost a lot of time in the beginning, all right, because of that, all right? So this time I left the bike on, all right? Even though I have the EBMX controller, I don't know if it does that, but we were in race mode 2, okay? If you guys want to know what the different power settings I chose race mode 1 was 10 kilowatts, race mode 2 was 15 kilowatts, race mode 3 was 20 kilowatts, all right? The idea was to not use the race mode 3, all right? I only really need a low power and mo power, okay, guys, all right? Well, there's low power, high power, and mo power, all right? And the idea was not to use the mo power setting, all right? I don't think we would really need it, all right, guys? That's just too much power for off-road. All right, and then we got the regen handbrake, and I set the the dead band to 5%. Okay, so that way we don't accidentally whiskey throttle it. I feel like maybe we should set it a little higher, maybe like 7%, all right? When HadesOmega is super moto racing or drag racing, I choose 2%, all right, guys? That it's like a hair trigger. Once you move the throttle, it'll go already, okay? So yeah, just think of it that way. All right, so yeah, boom, gun goes off. HadesOmega pretty much gets the whole shot. I almost get the whole shot, all right? The whole shot is technically when you get to go around the first corner before everybody else. So I take off, boom, I'm like ahead of everybody, man, because I don't have to start my bike up and then go, right? And I just twist that throttle and I take off. And the problem is the terrain is so loose and there's rocks everywhere and stuff. I'm getting kicked around and stuff. I can't go fast up the hill, guys. I'm just like all over the place, man. The traction was awful. It was about as awful as Virginia City Grand Prix, okay? Virginia City Grand Prix, no traction at all, man. It's just awful. And even with the new tires, man. But yeah, I did get up there pretty. I think by the time we got to the top of the hill, everyone had already passed me. So, and I was getting dusted. But at least this year, I didn't stall, and then everybody just took off. All right, none of that happened. All right, I actually led the pack. All right, I led my group for just a little bit. All right, and then they all freaking passed me, man. And it was freaking awful. The silt, all right, the dust. There's a lot of silt on Donner Pass, all right, or the Donner Ski Ranch, man. There's a lot of silt everywhere. I don't remember it being that silty last year. I think last year it was cool. It was cooler last year. It was going to be like 70s, 80s today, all right, and it was pretty warm. Because we're like I don't remember when the race was last time. I think it was in September. But we're in August right now, man. We're like at the peak of summer, right? The peak heat is in August, guys. The most consecutive warm days is August. Literally, like if you go 20 minutes one direction, it's almost like 90 degrees down there. Okay, guys. So at least because we're in a really high altitude, you know, it's not as hot. That's what I say, but it was hotter than last year. So that's gonna play into something later. Okay. So for the most part, the course was about the same as last year. Like I recognize a lot of the course from last year. Maybe I'm pretty sure they switched stuff around, so we didn't, you know, we could see some different stuff. All right, not everything was exactly the same, but I recognize. In fact, I think the course is probably, I can't say. I think it's about the same distance as last year anyway. Okay, but it's become evident that yes, the traction is awful. I'm getting the rocks and the silt are kicking me all over the place. The silt, if you get close to somebody, you get a brownout, man. You can't see shit, and you're trying to look at the terrain. You know, there could be a dip, there could be a rock, there could be whatever, you know, in there, and you wouldn't know it. All right, one of the things that got me were berms. Like, you know, I would crash into the berms. This bike is not very stable, okay, guys? It's really small. It's got a small wheelbase. It definitely needs a steering stabilizer. HadesOmega might look into getting one of those, maybe. Okay? Yeah, it could use a steering stabilizer big time because it's just the handlebars just all over the place, all right? It doesn't want to stay straight. I just want to say, all right? And I was huffing and puffing. You know, I did the Virginia City Grand Prix and the Wild Wabbit Harescramble, and you know, I was like, oh yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. All right, but those were not at high altitudes. All right, guys. I think Virginia City is like 5,000, and the Wild Wabbit is sea level. All right, guys. And we're at like 7,000 feet. All right, 7,000 at the bottom. All right, at the top, I don't know how high we are, guys. I'll look at the altitude chart. All right. But we've got to be more than 7,000, probably close to 8,000 feet at the top. All right, it's ridiculous. All right, so like I'm just exhausted the whole time, man. It's the first lap and I'm not feeling it already. Okay, and this bike is it's a handful to ride on this terrain. All right, none of the trails were flat. Well, I'm not gonna lie, some of them were flat. All right, some of them were flat and straight and stuff, but most of the time it's all rutted, and there's some whoops and stuff and logs and shit everywhere, man. It's awful, man. And then yeah, the brownouts and everything. All right, I don't remember getting silted out so many times. All right, and like if you slowed down in that silt, it would suck, guys. All right, and it would rob your power. All right. I think I only had one. I only had one crash on the first lap. My first lap was actually pretty clean, but I was going slow as shit, man. I'm pretty sure a lot of the guys that were in our group passed me already. You know, yeah, it was awful, man. And I was just going slow as shit, man. I was just taking my sweet time. Yeah. So we get to these silty hill climbs, man. There's just it's a hill climb with a bunch of silt on it, and you know you don't get traction, and there's rocks and there's stuff everywhere. It's awful. and like yeah, if you stop in the silt, you're kind of screwed. You just dig a hole in it, right? Yeah, the traction was so poor in the silt. But yeah, there was a guy that was like telling people where to go and stuff on this one hill climb. All right, and he was all like, you on the e-bike, if you can make it through this grass, there's a bunch of sticks and stuff everywhere. You might be able to make it. Sure enough, I went for it. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever there was like a hard obstacle and I saw like people stacking up there, that was my cue for like, I can take a little break here. So I was that freaking tired, guys. It's not so much of a skill issue. It's a fitness issue, guys, with HadesOmega. All right, I just couldn't breathe at that. Like maybe if I trained at that altitude all the time, then yeah, maybe I'd be okay, man. Maybe HadesOmega needs to do more cardio. Is what he needs to do. Man, I remember I saw this girl pass me once, and then I saw this girl pass me twice on the second lap. This girl like smoked me, like lapped me, like yeah, she lapped me. Okay, yeah, this is no joke. There was some really fast racers out there. Yeah, and so yeah, I got a chance to test out the Regen handbrake, and it worked pretty good, guys. I think I like it better than the handbrake. I wish I had both, or I wish I had a foot brake. So I think that's the ultimate setup, is to have the Regen handbrake and then a mechanical foot brake. All right, and then that way, if you get tired of using your hand, then you just use the foot brake. Okay, I think that's the way to go, and that's the way the Arctic Leopard EXE 880 is set up. All right, I like that setup. All right, because you're making use of everything. All right, but yeah, I used the Regen as much as I could. Sometimes I might want to change the position of the lever, because like I can't grip the tip of the lever. I'm like grabbing too far inside. I could one finger it, and I could two finger it, or I can kind of three finger it. All right, it's kind of hard to one finger it because, like I said, my finger is like kind of too close to the pivot point. So if I moved it in more, I could grab the tip more, right, and I'll have more leverage. All right, for the most part, I thought it was pretty good, but hey, HadesOmega just cannot ride down hills, guys. I'm using and there was some nasty downhills. It would just go straight down, or you would be going down and it would just drop off all of a sudden, man. There was plenty of opportunities to go over to handlebars type of thing. Okay, guys? Yeah, this is a race you can seriously hurt yourself. All right, guys? I'm not going to lie. All right, there's like rocks and stuff everywhere. There's plenty of opportunities to mess your feet up. All right, guys? HadesOmega is pretty bad with that, leaving his foot on the foot pegs, and then they get ripped off. So yeah, every time I saw a rock, I was like, trying to go around it as much as possible, lift my leg up or lift both legs up, that type of thing. All right, guys. I don't want to mess my feet up. All right, guys. But my feet are really bad shape because of motorcycle racing, guys. Because of this type of racing. So yeah, so that's a scoop. And then. So towards the I would say towards the like 70% of the course, you've got these up hills, all right, these hill climbs, and I remember them from last year, and it's just a lot of silt going up. Well, it turns out that the motor overheated, all right. So I had the I set the egg rider so I could see how much heat the motor was getting to, all right, how hot the motor was getting. And I saw, and then I noticed, when I twist the throttle, it doesn't want to go anymore. And I don't remember if I had that problem with the KO motor, but I think it was cooler last year. All right, since it was warmer this year, the motor overheated. All right, and believe me, guys, I'm not the only person with problems with overheating bike. All right, there was a ton of people, their radiators, you know, their bikes overheating, and I heard lots of stories about that, guys. Yeah, man, this mountain claimed a lot of bikes. That's what to say, right? And it was getting to my bike, right? I remember at some point I saw 270 on the motor temp, guys. 270. That's really hot. I feel like maybe this motor is messed up already because I've heated it up so much. Yeah, it's supposed to be able to take the heat, guys. I don't know. Maybe you need a bigger motor so it soaks up more heat, type of thing. But yeah. By the time I got to those hill climbs towards the end of the course, the bike wasn't liking it. So, like last year, I had to wait. I think that's where I had to wait too. So maybe I did have the overheating problem last year. You know, I don't think it was as worse as this. All right, and yeah, so I would have to let it cool down till, you know, a little bit, so I would get more power, and then I would have to try to motor up it. I'm not gonna lie, it motored up it just fine. All right, but it's it's silty and rocky and all that stuff. It's all the same combination of shit. Silt, rocks, maybe some grass. All right, bigger rocks, that type of thing. We were riding through freaking rock gardens and shit, you know, riding around stuff, up logs, around logs, you name it, man. we were thinging it, all right? I feel like I hate to say it, I feel like I'm faster with the mechanical brakes because I can't slow the bike down fast enough, right? Type of thing. The regen brake worked really, really good, though. For the downhills, it helps a lot, but it hurts my arms, man. I can't go down. I'm weak, man. I'm getting old. I'm not as strong as I used to be, okay? Okay, yeah, so I'm kind of not feeling it, man. I'm like, ah, shit, man. I don't want to race this anymore, but like, I make it to the end. So I would say the last 80 or 90% of the course, it's different stuff, right? But it's some of the stuff we did last year, and you just go down, lots of downhills, like, and it's loose and rutted and all that stuff. Yeah, man, not fun, all right? It's not easy downhill, and sometimes HadesOmega would kind of motor down it, and sometimes I would just, you know, I would paddle down it. All right, guys, it's safer to just paddle down it, and I could do that on this bike because it's small. Okay, that's the good thing. I think that's the good thing about the Lightbeat. You know, it's a good crutch. Okay, guys. But yeah, if I had a bigger bike, you'd have to ride that bitch down there, right, guys? But you got bigger wheels, so yeah, you got trade-offs and stuff. But yeah, some of those downhills were nasty, really, really nasty, man. And we were getting dusted big time. If you look at the bike, it's so muddy and dirty. My helmet is so dusty. Everything got dusted so bad. I had a huge, like a dirt mustache and all that stuff. Yeah, not good. I cleaned out so many dirt boogers out of my nose, man. It was awful. That's all I'm gonna say. And you're breathing all that stuff in, man. It's not good. It's definitely not good for your health. I'll tell you that. All right. Okay, so we make it back to the first lap. I remember. I got 40 minutes for the first lap. I looked at the timer and it said 40 minutes. I was like, oh, so if we do another 40 minutes. No, it's 80 minutes. So 80 minutes is an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm like, you know what? We might be able to do a third lap if we go for it, kind of. So on the second lap I had more problems, guys. You'd think I would get better in the second lap, but no, I wasn't. All right, it was just as worse. One thing we didn't do this year is we didn't have a kind of slick rock section. All right, last year for the second, after the first lap, you would do a slick rock section. All right, you would go up these rock slabs and everything. It was kind of fun, especially on the Lightbeat. The Lightbeat loves that kind of stuff. But they didn't have it this year. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, I wanted to ride that Rubicon shit, man. All right, the Rubicon's right around the corner from here. Why not? But anyway, so that's a scoop. All right, guys. I had like a handful of crashes in the second lap. Right, I was getting tired. I was getting over the bars. I think there was one time. Yeah, remember I said that the steep downhill section towards the end. I think I was slowing down too much or something. The back whipped around and I went off the course and I fell down, and then I had to kind of ride to the side. The good thing is, if you crash in some of the in some of the areas, if you crash, you can kind of just go another way and just cut your own path back onto the race, the racetrack. All right, the trail. All right, and so that's how I got out of that one. Actually, I didn't get stuck on that silty hill. I made it up better last time. Actually, I took a different way. There was a better way with a bunch of grass, or it was smoother, but you had to go down really a steep thingy and then go back up the silt. All right, guys. The silt wasn't that big. Actually, I did better on the hill climbs on the second lap. All right, and I knew we were going to have problems with the heat, so HadesOmega was trying to conserve the power as much as possible. I think we had like 80%. I think we had 80% charge when we came in for the first lap. So I was like, damn, this battery's freaking awesome. It just keeps on going. I think at the end we were like at half. Let me see what we're at. This says we're at 71 volts. All right, so pretty much 50% after the second lap. All right, guys, and the race ended on the second lap. So that tells me, all right. Well, I saw on the GPS that it was 6 miles a lap. All right, so I know this battery can do about 30 miles. So that's like, we can do 3, right? So 6 times 2 is 12, right? That's 2 laps. 6 times 3 is 18. We could definitely do that, all right? And then, what's 6 times 4? 24. Yeah, we could do 4 laps, all right? 4 laps might be pushing it, all right? I think it could do 4 laps, especially at the pace we were going, dude. We were going at a snail's pace, man, I'm telling you. I think if I had been on the throttle more, I'm sure the battery would be lower than that, all right? But the battery did pretty good. It was pretty much close to 25% a lap, okay? Really, really good. I'm pretty sure we could have done, I'm 100% sure we could have done 3 laps with this battery, all right? 4 laps, maybe not, all right? And the plan was to switch to the other battery for the 3rd lap, all right? Last year I only did 2 laps, so my goal was to do the 3rd lap. However, when we came back after the 2nd lap, I had a lot of problems on the 2nd lap. All right, I was looking at the time and I was like, hey, you know what? We might be able to make it back for the 3rd lap. All right, and then so I go down this freaking steep downhills, right? A steep, loose downhill, and I think I don't know. I did something to the bike, and the bike suddenly died. I'm like, oh, what happened? Like, I don't have any more. I can't use the throttle anymore. The bike's not doing anything. So I just kind of rolled down the hill to the bottom, because we're on a hill, right? And I turned the bike off, and I turned it back on. Egg rider is dead. Doesn't say anything. So I'm looking. I said, what's going on? And I see the harness for the egg rider, and it's disconnected, and there's pins sticking out of it. I was like, oh shit. This is not good, guys. But the pins are sticking out, and you could still stick them in there. So the problem was, I don't know how it happened. I didn't route the wiring very good. It was kind of hanging out there, and I guess maybe it got snagged on something, or I crushed it with the handlebar, something. All right. I didn't do a very good job routing the wiring. All right, because there's a lot more wiring now, because I've got like an extra. I got a cable now and everything. Yeah, it's a freaking spaghetti mess now. Anyway, yeah, so that was the scoop there. All right, I broke the connector for the egg rider display, and then the bike's not going to run if the egg rider doesn't work. All right, so there's kind of a lot of things that can go wrong if stuff gets disconnected. But yeah, the pins were sticking out. All I had to do was line up the arrows and stick them back in. All right. I did that. I shoved it in the thing behind the headlight as good as I could, and I kept on riding. All right, and sometimes it would pop out and stuff, and I was like, so when I got to the hill climbs, I was like, oh shit, hold on, let me fix this again. Sometimes the bike runs. If the egg rider gets disconnected, it still runs. So I don't know, man. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I prefer that the egg rider did run. Okay, so we can keep track of our heat. Which is nice, is what I'm going to say. Like I said, it got into the 200s. eventually, yeah, we did get to those hill climbs and stuff, and the bike, I let the bike cool down enough where, like, we just motored up it, all right? And I killed those hill climbs. I did really good on them, all right? I think if we had better tires, yeah, if we had better tires, we probably would have done better. I think if we were running, like, an 1821 setup, I think did I race this race with a 20? No, it was Virginia City I raced with the 21. Yeah, I haven't had a 21 for a long time. I just kind of didn't like the way the 21 rode, all right? I feel like if you're going to use a 21, you need a bigger bike. Okay, bigger than this bike. Yeah, and I just remember the last part where we had to keep on going down the hills. My biggest weakness is going down hills, guys. All right, I just can't hold my body up, and this part of my hand, it hurt a whole lot. I injured this part of my hand right here, my wrist. Now this is hurting a whole lot. It's hurting from me trying to hold myself up. All right, I'm doing this and I'm working the brake at the same time. All right, I feel like I should have like a foot brake would be better. Okay, type of thing. Yeah, it would be nice to have different brakes. So when this gets tired, then maybe you could use your foot or you can use your thumb. All right, okay? So, yeah, but it's an issue with HadesOmega. All right, guys. I wouldn't say it's a skill issue. I would say it's a disability issue. Okay, guys. I'm disabled. I'm old, guys. All right. My body won't do things like it did like 10 years ago. All right, type of thing. So yeah, we did make it back. I waited. On the way back, I just went like a snail's pace. I was like, shit. I don't think I could do a third lap. I thought I was gonna do a third lap last year, I think, and then yeah. So my goal was try to do a third lap, but what really killed it was the broken connector, guys. I didn't want to go do another lap with that broken connector because who knows what else could happen to the bike, and the bike could just stop, all right. It could break even more, and then I'd be stranded out there, and that's no bueno, okay. And then so I crossed the finish line, and they got the checkered flag, so game over. 1.5 hour hare scramble over, and then so at the end, I'm telling you, man, District 36 is 8 up, man. The District 36 cross country is 8 up. They find me and they say, hey, your transponder is messed up. It's only reading as S. It's not picking up your number 277. You need to go have them fix it. And I was like, well, and then they're like, there's nobody up there to fix it though. So when you do your next race, which there won't be a next race, guys, have them fix that. And then, but if you remember, guys, when we came and we did the tech inspection, they checked the number, and I saw the number on the screen. It said 277S. All right, so who's 8 up, man? It's them that are 8 up, all right? Because I saw that thing it showed the right number when I rode under it, all right? And I don't know why it's not picking it up, all right? So their system is fucked up, all right, guys? What can I say? All right, for lack of a better word, it's fucked, okay? They need to fix that shit, okay? Yeah, the most timing issues this race, man, guys, I swear. I know I've been having a lot of timing issues lately, guys. What can I say? Okay, so yeah, that's the end of the race, and then so to my surprise, there's no finisher pin. All right, there's always a finisher pin after a District 36 race. All right, the Wild Wabbit and the Hairball, they give you a sticker, right? Well, they actually have a pin made out for these events. They didn't have it, all right, guys? So that kind of pisses me off. That's supposed to be, it's your reward for finishing, okay? That's why it's called a finisher pin, all right? Like, you get a trophy if you did really good, right? But if you at least finished, you get a finisher pin. That means you survived, all right? And that means something to me, all right? Because this is one of the hardest hare scrambles around, all right? It's kind of renowned for that, and the course was just beat up and dry and silty and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was worse than last year. I for some reason I don't think it was as dusty last year. This year was awful, man. It was just freaking smoke screen everywhere, guys, and it's so dangerous trying to follow somebody in that smoke, especially when you and then another thing is like, yeah, faster bikes come up behind you and you're like, oh, I don't want you behind me, man. You can pass, and then you let them pass, and then they dust you. Okay, so yeah, man, it's awful, man. That's what I hate about these races is the other people. All right, but that's what makes it interesting, right? Oh yeah. Speaking of the Varg, I did bump into Perry. I think it bumped into Perry like twice, maybe once or twice. We were going at one of the really silty hill, and I rode up the grass part, and I think he passed me. I was waiting. I was like looking at everybody and like, okay, when am I gonna go? And then so I think he passed me and he went, and then he dumped it. I saw him dump it in the silt. He got all busted up by the silt, and I just passed him. All right. And then it turns out he only did one lap, so I beat a Varg, guys. That's so to say, yeah. Yeah, he had a lot of problems, and then I had a problem with the bike at the end. So I'm glad we didn't do a third lap. One, I was exhausted, and two, my bike was semi-broken. Okay, I didn't want to risk making it totally broken, all right, and having to push it back, all right, because that's no fun. Okay. So ends Donner Harescramble 2024. All right, and then yeah. So there's some more drama. Okay, guys. I talked to Perry, and yeah. So I didn't get the finisher pin. I'm not happy with that. I hope they mail out the finisher pins. I'm gonna send an email. I don't know. Send an email to somebody like, hey, are we gonna get a finisher pin? Are you gonna mail it to us? You know, I feel like I got cheated. I spent a lot of money for this race and I finished it. I feel like I should be rewarded with a finisher pin. You know, we're supposed to get one. You know, it's the D36 standards are going down, guys. So that's another reason I don't want to race. Okay, so here's my story with Brian Garrahan. Right, so Brian Garrahan is like the owner of Garrahan Off Road Training. All right, it's a name that I hear, you know, here and there. I don't really know the guy. All right, he's just a dude I see at the races. Okay, he's usually the guy running them. All right, and yeah, and so he apparently he has some issues with electric bikes. All right, so okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was ripping around on the Light B and the Varg. All right, so after the race, I talked to Perry, and he's like, "Hey, man, like, if you want to go take the Varg for a spin, you can do it." And I took him up on his offer, and I rode down that road where everyone parks the RVs and stuff. All right, but I did it responsibly, okay, guys. I rode out where there was nobody around, right? And I was ripping around on the Varg, all right. And I did the same thing on the Light B because I had to try to drain some of the power from the small battery because we didn't use it. All right, it's not good to have a full charge battery, you know, just sitting around. And I didn't do a very good job. I think it's at like 90-something%. So okay, but yeah, so that's a scoop. And I don't know. Maybe that's what he might have been mad at. Maybe he saw me ripping around out there and stuff. All right, because I was wearing this gear, all right, and I made a video about it. All right, so I went back to the resort area. There's a bunch of bikes there, and I rode through them and stuff. And then I saw another Varg. There was another Varg there. They were going to use the Varg for the hill climb event. All right, that was pretty cool. I was checking out some of those hill climb bikes. They're pretty rad. I ran into a buddy that I raced in Supermoto USA. I don't think I raced him, but he was in that event, and I raced him in a drag race. All right. His name was Eric. Okay, guys, and I'm chatting away with Eric, and I'm sitting on the Light B, man, and I'm not the only Light B there. Maybe this is what pissed him off because there's other Light Bs out there just doing stupid shit. I don't know, man, but I'm there with my ProTech helmet on, and I'm wearing like my shorty boots and stuff, just casually riding around, and then he comes up behind me while I'm talking to Eric, and he says, This is my mountain, and you will not ride your e-bike on my mountain." Okay, and he was very rude. He was very rude and mean and stuff, and he didn't clarify why he was pissed off at me or whatever. I heard he was like taking people's wristbands away for people like riding their electric motorcycles around, And I see there's tons of people. There's tons of kids and adults on dirt bikes, no helmet. They're just carrying stuff around. They're just riding in t-shirts and shorts and stuff. They're riding two up and stuff. I'm trying to be a responsible, rider type of thing. All right, I'm at least wearing a helmet and some boots, and I just wanted to check out what was going on. There wasn't really much going on, guys. So I just split after that. But yeah, that left a kind of like sour taste in my mouth. My first interaction with Brian Garrahan, and it was that. All right, he told me I can't ride my e-bike on his mountain. I'm like, what? Were you the sheriff of this place? I'm like, what the hell, man? I paid good money so I can race in this event. All right, and I think you should treat me with a little more respect. All right, and also I had my bag with me. All right, I had this bag with me. All right, it's got my U.S. Army name tape and name and my rank on it and everything. And it shows that I'm a U.S. Army veteran, all right? And I like you're gonna treat a veteran rudely like that, yeah. So because of him, I don't want to race any of these D36 races, and I'm definitely not gonna race the Donner Harescramble again, okay? So this is gonna be the last year I do it, okay? It's a shame. I wanted to try to keep on getting better and better at it. I feel that this year was better than last year. All right, the bike has improved a lot since last year, but I think we've reached the limit of what the Light B can do for us, guys. HadesOmega is just not getting any better on it, and I'm getting weaker and weaker. I'm getting older. I need a bike that can do the enduro stuff better. Okay, and this bike is not the one. Right, this bike just is constantly beating the shit out of me. Okay, so that's a scoop there. But yeah, Brian Garrahan, he just pissed me off, man, with that remark. All right, and I'm not gonna let him get away with it. I made a YouTube video about the whole interaction and all that. But I don't think you should be treating your participants that paid good money to come here and race. Like, I guess that's what happens when when you get popular and you've got like a lot of people at these events, and yeah, and I just see a lot of people riding around fast and dusting stuff, and yeah, man, I kind of don't like the crowd out there for the D36 cross country races. Okay, is what I'm gonna say. They're just a lot of them are just they don't seem very responsible type of thing. Okay, yeah. So anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I was having a pretty good day until Brian Garrahan told me off like that. All right, and there was no reason for that. Okay, so yeah, here's a picture of him right now. Okay, that guy. All right, because of that guy, I don't want to do this race anymore. Okay, because he's the one that runs it. All right, and yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, this event was ate up, man. No finisher pin. The registration was all messed up. The course is all doo-doo. Okay. There's nothing I can do about it. Maybe they should do it when it's more damp out, is what I'll say. All right, and yeah, you could seriously get hurt in this race. All right, there's just a lot of rocks and stuff you can hit and stuff. Yeah, you just got to be on your game, guys. What can I say? All right, HadesOmega was kind of halfway. Like I said, I'm also injured too. So, yeah, so I just don't want to do these District 36 Harescramble races anymore. Okay, so. Maybe HadesOmega, since I have the District 36 membership now, I might try something else. I might try the enduros. All right, I do race a sprint enduro. I'm not. I don't like the way they run their Harescrambles type of thing, and I don't like their crowd. Okay, and it's kind of too competitive type of thing. Yeah, so that's a scoop. HadesOmega would like to get Arctic Leopard EXE 880. All right, guys. That's what HadesOmega is looking to get. Unfortunately, they're kind of not very available in the States yet. You can't even get parts for them, but you can buy them right now. I just don't have the money. All right, guys. All the money went into this thing, the RAV4. All right, guys. I'm still trying to pay it off. So my goal is to pay this RAV4 off, and then maybe we can buy an enduro bike next year. All right. HadesOmega will still race Hare Scrambles, all right, and I will still race the Coyote Creek Sprint Enduro. Okay, I like doing that race, and I have the District 36 membership, so you better do it, HadesOmega. All right, and then so you can get your money's worth. All right. If you do about 3 races, it pays for itself off, as I'm gonna say. But at least if I do 2, it'll be okay. And then maybe I can do some other races, you know, but no more Hare Scrambles for me. The having to use the GoPro and all that stuff. Yeah, man, I'm not very. There's just too many stupid rules involved with freaking District 36 and AMA. All right, that's what I want to say. Okay, and then yeah, you gotta have the AMA membership and the District 36 membership. It's just like, man, it all adds up, man. It's just, you know, I could have stayed home and watched the Olympics, man. You know, instead of spending all this freaking money, and then get berated by the guy that runs it, you know. So yeah, I'm not gonna let him get away with that, man. But yeah, he was a total dickhead, man. I'll tell you. Okay, so yeah, sorry to leave on like a sour note, but on the plus side, I got to ride a Stark Varg for the first time today, so check that video out. I will put it at the end of the video. I did get to go rip around on it for a little bit. I wish I could have taken it on the course. That would have been fun. Okay, but Perry had a hard time riding it on the thing, but I liked it. It was like riding an Alta, man. Yeah. Like the first time I rode an Alta, it feels very similar to it, but it's like a fancier Alta, is what I'm going to say, okay? Yeah, I was very impressed with it. Very, very impressed, okay? This new electric motorcycles, you know. Watch out, Brian Garrahan. There are going to just be all e-bikes in the future, man. No more clutch, no more kickstarts. No more jetting, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, no more 2-stroke smoke. It's all gonna be nice, clean electric. It's coming, bro. It's coming. So I know you hate it. You know, you're an e-bike hater, and you definitely, you know, wanted to drive that home with me. All right, but yeah, I'm still here, and that's, you know, that's my jam, guys. Okay. And I'm not going to let him, you know, keep me down like that. All right, and I'm very disappointed I didn't get a finisher pin. Hopefully I get it. One of the District 36 officials told me you need to complain that you didn't get a finisher pin. So I will. That's what I will do. I'll at least send an email to somebody and say, hey, I didn't get a finisher pin for this. I finished on my e-bike, on Brian Garrahan's mountain. Okay. I raced my e-bike all over his mountain. Yeah, take that, Brian Garrahan. All right. Thanks for watching. That's the After Action review. Yeah, so for the future, what would you do for the future? Well, there's not going to be a future for Donner Harescramble, unfortunately. That's going to be the last Harescramble, the District 36 Harescramble HadesOmega does. Okay, or maybe I might do the other ones, but we're definitely not going to do the Donner Harescramble anymore. Okay, I've done it once, and I've done it twice, and that's enough for me. Okay, and it was rough both times. I'm not going to lie. All right, what could we do to do better? Is we need to get a different bike, man. I've pretty much upgraded this thing up to the max, and it's still not good enough, guys. Maybe a steering stabilizer would help, because the handlebars just like gets crazy all over the place. There's just so many landmines you have to navigate around and everything. All right, but for the most part, the bike did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with its performance, and my performance was kind of lacking. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, we did have the overheating issues. That was very annoying. All right, I'm not gonna lie. Those hills were rough. Okay. Yeah, I know. We weren't even using that much power, man. We were using 15 kilowatts. I don't know what it is. This controller heats that motor up faster. I feel like the KO controller is a better fit for that motor, is what I'm going to say, right? This KO motor is supposed to be a very good motor, guys, and I don't know, man. The EBMX controller heats it up really fast. The KO controller doesn't really do that, okay? It would get hot, but it wouldn't get that hot, you know? So I'm not sure. Maybe we could turn down the power down a little bit. Maybe turn down the phase amps. I've been having all sorts of problems with the motor overheating, and it's really freaking annoying, guys. But it's fast as fuck, is what I say, alright? Okay, thanks for watching. It's Big Out. Hopefully I can get an Arctic Leopard or a Varg, okay? I kind of like the Varg after I rode it today, but I think I would rather have the Arctic Leopard. It's more of an enduro bike. The Varg is a motocross bike, guys, okay? But I would like it for supermoto, though. Alright, thanks for watching. Oh, the results. I forgot to mention the results. Alright, so I did get a peep at the results, and it said I was third to last, alright? I think out of like 10 riders, so I think we were like 7th or something. Close to mid, but not really. I'd imagine the people that were behind us, the last 2 people behind us, had like serious problems with their bikes. Okay, after this clip, we will go over the results from the D36 webpage, alright? So if it's one thing that the D36 does good is like they post stuff on the internet, alright? Alright, well, I'll see you in that clip. By the way, I am very impressed with this battery, guys, alright? This is a very good battery, alright? It's worth every penny, okay? With it, I feel like we probably could have done 4 laps on it, but it would have been safer to do 3, okay? Alright, also I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Liat, alright? Yeah, so last year I wasn't rocking their gear, but I am this year, okay, guys? And it was great, alright? It kept me protected, you know, while I'm riding. There's the jersey. These are the pants I'm wearing, okay? And here's the helmet. Alright, I've banged up the helmet quite a bit. Okay. Alright. Thanks, Liat. Alright, hey, HadesOmega here. I'm here in my room, and we're gonna go check the results out. I know it's been like more than a week since the last clip, but yeah, let's see how we did, and we'll kind of compare how I did compared to other classes as well. Okay, fantasy motorcycle racing, fantasy hare scramble. All right. Okay, guys, here's the results. We got AMA District 36 here, cross country round 10 Donner Harescramble. All right, this is probably the only one I'm going to do during a year. C Sportsman, C Senior. Okay, that's what I signed up for, the senior class. All right, it's like an age. It depends. It's a class based on your age. Okay, you can race any bike as long as you meet the age limit. I think as the one C Senior is 40 plus. Okay, so here I am right down here. Alright, okay, here I am down here. I'm 11th out of 13, alright? At least I'm not dead last. Okay, 277S. Hey, look, they got my proper number here. I don't know why they couldn't figure it out. Alright, Valencia, Merlin, C Senior. They put me down as a Kawasaki because they don't have a Soron, guys. And then so I did 2 laps, and my finishing time was 12:43. I don't know really what that is. I guess they give you like an average speed, 8.86 miles an hour. All right, and it gives you the time of each laps. Okay, so I think this is. I'm not really sure how they do this, alright, for the full time. I think this is the time when you come back. That's what I'm thinking, because the race starts at 11:30. No, the race started at 11, and the race ends at 12:30, right? So I came back at 12:43, okay? So I was a little bit over time type of deal, okay? Anyway, so, You can definitely tell how I did compared to how the others did by the number of laps I did, okay? And like I said, HadesOmega couldn't do a 3rd lap because I kind of messed up the wiring on my bike. I've since kind of fixed it, but I haven't taken it on another dirt bike ride, okay? So yeah, there's that. First lap I finished 43 minutes 51 seconds. My second lap I finished 50 minutes and 57 seconds. I was having like overheating issues and stuff, and then I had the problems with the wiring, and I was tired. Okay, guys, the elevation was kicking my ass. All right, Anyway, we did better than Marcel here and Dustin. All right. According to this, Marcel did 2 laps, but his we got back pretty much the same time. But his second lap he did 60 minutes. Okay. And here we got Dustin. He only did 1 lap. He finished after 43 minutes. He actually finished before both of us. There must have been something wrong with their bikes that they couldn't go back out. Okay. Everyone else did 3 laps, so it seems like if if you were doing okay, you did 3 laps. Okay, guys. So last year I did 2 laps, and this year I did 2 laps. I was hoping I could do a 3rd lap, but yeah, like I said, I ran into all those problems. So better luck never. Okay, HadesOmega is not going to do this race anymore. Okay. Okay, so we've got everybody else did 3 laps, so all these guys definitely did better than us. Okay, guys. This guy came in 10th place here, came in at 33 minutes. That's a full 10 minutes faster than us. All right. The next guy was 35 minutes. This guy is 42 minutes. That's pretty close to our time. 34, 32, 33. Also depends if you get stuck on any bottlenecks and stuff. That really increases your time, guys. You just have to be a badass, okay? Okay. Yeah, so this was the fastest time here. All right, we've got a 30, 30, and 30. Pretty consistent lap times, all right? They pretty much did. Every lap was like 30 minutes, so that's good because the race is only 1.5 hours, guys. Yeah, so how long did it take us to do total? 43 plus 50, right? That's like 93 minutes or 60. Yeah, that's an hour. It literally took us an hour and a half to do 2 laps, guys, pretty much. All right, I remember I was looking at my timer and I think we came in just before 1:30 type of thing. Okay, guys. It was. I feel like the course was a little bit longer than last year's. That's what I want to say. Okay. Yeah, I think had we been able to turn the same time as the first lap, I think they might have let us out on a 3rd lap. Okay, guys. Maybe. It's like 80 minutes already. Yeah, 1 hour 20. Yeah, we might have been able to get a 3rd lap. Okay, so I'm not really sure what the time is. I don't know. I don't know how they score this, man. It's kind of weird. Because this is your finishing time, But the finishing time doesn't matter if you get different laps. Okay. So anyway, just remember we had 93 minutes. Okay, roughly around that time. Okay, let's go. Let's compare to some other stuff. I just want to say. Oh my God. Okay. Let's just do sportsman overall, guys. Yeah. I didn't do that. Boy, how many racers are in sportsman? C sportsman. That's pretty much everyone, right? Okay, there's 136. All right. Some of these guys didn't finish. I don't know what happened. They had to be rescued on the course or something. All right, and we're looking for our number. Oh my God. Okay, this guy looks familiar. There I am. Okay, we're at 95. All right, so our overall score in the C class is 95. Not very good, guys. All right. That puts us 95 divided by 136. 70%, guys. That's not bad. No, yeah, we have to take the inverse of that, guys. I thought we were doing good, but 70. If you take the inverse of it, it's 30%, guys. We're on the 30 percentile. We did freaking awful, guys. To get half, we'd have to get we had to be like around 70 or something. Wait. Did we get around 70? No, we got 95. Yeah. Yeah, we did pretty bad, guys. That's freaking awful, right?
how many until, oh, see these guys all did 3. See, if we did 3, we would have, yeah, we would have been 70. We would have done a lot better if we'd done another lap. Okay, so, but yeah, HadesOmega, just I couldn't breathe up there, man, and it's awful, man. The bike kept on overheating and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so that's a scoop. We were like 95 out of 130 something. Okay, I feel that that's all. That's all I really want to go over, guys. So just the overall for C Sportsman. What other class? C200. C200 is the other class I might have run because that's like a small bike class. Okay, and remember it was like 95 minutes. So whoever did 2 laps. Okay, so this guy right here. What did this guy do? This guy did better than us. They were doing like under 30-minute laps. This guy is fast. Okay, this guy is fast, but he only did 2 laps. Don't know why. Okay, guys. Yeah. So we would have finished. Yeah, we finished 10th last time. Yeah, we would have finished. We would have finished in the same place, 10th. So, okay. So, if you race in C200, we still would have got our ass whooped, okay? Yeah, but these guys were pulling similar lap times to us, is what I want to say. They were like 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, and then they're 3 laps, okay? Dude, the guy, the number 3 guy did 4 laps, guys. The number 1 guys, the guys on the top here, did all 4 laps, guys. So these guys are really fast, all right. So none of the people in my class, the senior class, did 3 laps. Okay, so this is a even more competitive class, all right. C200. Okay, so don't race in that class, Hades, mate. You ain't ready for that yet. All right, I think that's all I want to really compare to. I don't know, women, vet, no. I think all these are all kind of different too. Okay, and so that is it, guys. That's the results for Donner Harescramble 2024, where HadesOmega raced in the C senior class. Okay, pretty bad. All right, I feel like we did just as worse as we did last year. That's what I want to say. All right, this year the bike was a lot different than it was last year. Okay, guys. We have the KO swing arm. We've got the Qi battery. All right, so definitely the battery helps a lot. We didn't have that battery was probably the best upgrade we did on the bike. Okay, and especially for longer distance races like a Harescramble. I felt that's probably the best modification. All right, and then we had the EBMX controller with the regen throttle. Okay, and I felt the regen throttle helped a whole lot. And it also probably helped us get more range too. Okay, so when we're going down those long, steep downhills, we're charging the battery up. Okay, and it made like going around the turns and stuff a lot better. That's what I want to say. Yeah, I feel that the bike was better than last year, but our performance was similar to last year. Okay. Okay, so that is the end of the after action review. I just went over the results and stuff like I mentioned. Okay, thanks for watching. HadesOmega out. So this is going to be my last time racing this race. Okay, I'm not going to do any District 36 Harescrambles anymore. There's other Harescrambles we can do out there that are not sanctioned by AMA. Okay, I'm just kind of tired of doing AMA stuff, man. Their way of doing things is kind of antiquated, man. All right, or it's either antiquated or it's just overly complicated, man. So, and Brian Garrahan was like a douchebag to me. So, what can you say? All right, here's Big Up.